SEC football.
Yes.
Greg Sankey confirms they're going to stay at an 8-game conference schedule for 2024, but also divisions will be scrapped. We knew this was coming, but now it's official. Your thoughts?
This is kicking the can down the road. Our buddy Timmy B is not.
I can't wait for Tim Brady.
We got Timmy B coming on next week. Speaking about that, he's going to be a human grill gun. Grillblazer.com, use promo code Booster. But the way I look at it is like this. Some good and some bad, right? Mm-hmm. No divisions in 2024, which, even with the 8-game schedule, for your career, you can go home and away, which I like that. I get that they're waiting. It's the TV money.
Sure.
Right? That's what they're waiting on because they want extra money from ESPN adding that game. You saw that some, few coaches' places were for it. I think it was 5 SEC schools were for going to the 9-game. And I was surprised to see, but again, and I'm going to start this segment soon, stop thinking like a fan, okay? Stop thinking like a fan. Everybody's like, oh, Nick Saban, Alabama's scared. They're scared because their permanent opponent looked like it was going to be Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn. All right? And I understand how fans are, and Alabama gets the benefit of the doubt with Nick Saban all the time. They get put in the best situations possible. But if I'm the head coach, I don't want those to be my 3 permanent rivals. I get paid to win, and it's never going to be truly even. Life isn't fair. You got to keep the matchups, and that was one of the things Kirby Smart talked about, some of the traditional rivalries and things like that. But I don't blame Nick Saban for not wanting to play those 3 permanent rivals. Yeah. I wouldn't want to either. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite.
I get it. I get it. Like, because you said it best. Like, he gets paid to win, right? But assuming that the stands are full every game, because that's another thing we heard from Nick Saban recently, which is, hey, Alabama fans, don't leave the game when we're playing UAB and we're up by 35 points. Mm-hmm. Well, that plays into this as well. You want your team to be playing the best competition. I talked about this with Michigan's schedule last year, and part of it wasn't their fault because they had UCLA scheduled, and that game went off, just like Georgia this year had Oklahoma schedule, and that game went off. And you have to fill the spot the best you can. But if we continue doing this year after year where we're just scheduling the easiest opponents because the rest of the schedule is tough in the SEC West or in the Big Ten East, then people are going to start watching the games less and less. And you don't want that either, even though you're trying to win.
Yeah, and again, I understand that. I just think, that there's a lot of complaints. Some schools, and I get fans leaving early and things like that, but I don't think Alabama has a watching problem when it comes to the games. But Nick Saban said something that we talked about on here, and you just brought up. You add that 9th game. I'm not scheduling Texas. Mm-hmm. I'm not scheduling Oregon. And at first you're like, oh no, it's going to make the non-conference schedule, the worst it's ever been or whatever. But look where we're going in college football. We're going to 4 super conferences. That's what it's going to. Mm-hmm. And so if you end up with 4 conferences with 20 teams in it, you're probably going to have to play 10 conference games.
And maybe not even that. It might be 2 conferences with 30 teams.
Yeah, no, and that's where we're going. So while you're not getting that early out-of-conference matchup we're used to seeing, you're getting more great matchups. I mean, Texas is going to play Alabama now in the conference. Mm-hmm. So I think there's some give and take there, but I'm not as upset. I think it is going to be a 1-year thing. They're calling it, a bridge, temporary, whatever. And whether you like it or not, okay, the SEC is going to do what the SEC wants to do. That's what happens when you're king. You can do what you want. But the part I found kind of fascinating is that Greg Sankey wanted that 9-game in-conference schedule in 2024.
Sure.
But he couldn't get the votes. And that's the first time.
I think he could if the TV money was there. But the TV money can't be there while you're on an existing contract.
That's true. And some teams in 2024 were a little bit cautious because they didn't want to have to get out of some of the non-conference game they already scheduled in 2024 if they went to a 9-game in-conference schedule instead of the 8 one.
And so that's another good point because these schedules get made 6-7 years.
I mean, we got some that it's like 2029. I know. Which is ridiculous.
So Flaming Dragon, would you rather see the SEC go to a 9-game schedule, which at some point, if you're bringing in Texas and you're bringing in Oklahoma, we want to see all these teams play each other, or would you rather see them stay at 8, but still, and to your point on Alabama does a great job of scheduling awesome Power 5 non-conference games. Every year they're opening Florida State and Texas and Michigan. Would you rather see that, or are we going to get those on the back end with an extended college football playoff? Because you're going to see more non-conference matchups.
The thing with me is, I don't think anything's wrong with the SEC right now. Like it's don't mess with it. It's 8 games. I'm fine with 8 games. Like because when we do 9 games, someone's gonna get the short end of the stick, right? And it'll probably be Auburn.
Yeah. Well, somebody always gets the short end of the
Yeah. Well, it'll probably be Auburn.
And it is Auburn.
Yeah. So please, I don't want to play Georgia and Bama and LSU as our.
But don't you kind of though?
No, I don't.
Want those
David.
games?
No,
You know? I mean, isn't it more fun to play Georgia and Alabama than to schedule?
You know what's fun?
Georgia State.
You know what's fun? Making it to the playoffs. All right, that's
fun too.
Okay?
Yeah.
Winning natties, that's fun.
I get
with
it.
Georgia's schedule. So no, 8 games. I'm fine. I think the SEC is fine right now where it is.
Okay, well, let me just, from my personal experience, and I've been saying this to you guys for the last 2 years since I met you, I want Michigan and Notre Dame to play every year. It is outrageous that rivalry is off the schedule now.
100%.
Well, Michigan and that was always about the 3rd week of the year, that game right before the Big Ten Conference starts. That game is off the schedule now. For whatever reasons, even though I blame Notre Dame, and that's going to be, that gets scheduled Ball State in Toledo. And Matt, I would rather see them play Notre Dame, and there's a bit better chance that that's a loss when you play the Fighting Irish every year, but I want to see that game.
Yeah, well, join a conference.
Well, we're in a conference.
Notre Dame. Everyone's sick of it.
Hey, YouTube, thank you guys for joining us. Do us a favor if you don't mind, and if you don't know, we do a live weekday sports show from 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. That's 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central. I cannot believe I got both of those right. But make sure you subscribe, share the show, hit that like button, and turn that notification bell on too so you know when we're dropping content that will remind you the way sports talk used to be. I know you'll enjoy it.